Good evening, crypto fans, cryptocurrency enjoyers, Bitcoin bulls. I am Daniel Stern, the crypto economist. So, as I'm making this video, Bitcoin has had yet another characteristic rise in price. As you can see, it's just kind of snuck its way above 20,000 there for the first time, which is a whole heck of a lot of money. And I have seen a lot of people on the net kind of who don't know about cryptocurrency posting, they're bearish on Bitcoin. They think it's going to go down. They think they should sell. Well, I think that's bullshit. I think Bitcoin's going to keep going up. And unlike those so-called Bitcoin investors, I actually have my money in Bitcoin, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So yeah, here's my Kraken account, and you can see that I actually have about 2,500 USD of my own money invested in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 20,000 bucks, as you can see, and I haven't taken it out, and I actually plan to invest more just as soon as the price sneaks down a little bit. So I, the elite Bitcoin advisor, am not bullshitting you. This is really what I think. I'm investing my money in this guess, and if you invested your money in this guess, of course there are no guarantees, but you'd be in the same boat as me. So why am I betting on Bitcoin continuing to go up? Well, let's have a look at the charts. So here's a 1 week chart on Bitcoin. As you can see, in a week it's gone from about 15,000 to 20,000. That's an preposterous 30% gain. So, you'd think, is it going to go right back down? Maybe. Let's look at this chart in the context of a year. So you can see Bitcoin's actually had this pretty steady rise for the whole part of the year. At the beginning of the year, it was a lot less than it is. But you can see here, we're kind of getting this jagged kind of climb that's going to reach a peak. My guess is that while it will go down, it's probably not going to crash to farther than below, let's say, 13,000 USD. And it's going to just keep going up. So if you haven't bought yet, my guess would be for you to wait for it to go down to about this price. So it is going to go down a little just because of market forces and such, but it's going to bounce back up. So wait a minute, if I'm bullish on Bitcoin, why do I think the price is going to go back down? Well, while Bitcoin is valuable, this current price of $20,000, there's a bit of speculation going on to it. I believe that the real value of a Bitcoin is somewhat less, though it's still really valuable. And I think that the price of Bitcoin has a lower end that is not really too worried about speculations. The speculators can speculate as much as they want, but Bitcoin's never going to quite get below that particular amount, which I think today, as I make this video, is about 13,000, and I'm good at these guesses. So there's a lot of speculation about these Bitcoin futures contributing to the unusually fast rise of Bitcoin value. All these companies, these financial companies, they're getting involved. They're getting involved in Bitcoin. They're doing that. Personally, my view on all these big financial companies, AIG, KPMG, all these big guys, is they're a bunch of really old white dudes who don't know shit about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. People as a whole tend to be, unintelligent. So when these people say something like they're bullish on Bitcoin or bearish on Bitcoin, the market as a whole listens. And if, say, KPMG decides they're going to start investing in Bitcoin, a whole lot of other people are going to do it too, even though KPMG does not know shit about Bitcoin. They're just going with the flow, and hey, big institutional investors, you're about 3 or 4 years late, which I guess is pretty fast for you guys. So I think that the rise in price is driven a bit by this speculation, but ultimately we should ignore it. The presence of these large institutional players just means that the market cap of Bitcoin is just going to increase more and more. So Bitcoin has this lower end price that's not disappearing. Where am I getting that from? Is that just bullshit? It's bullish shit is what it is. No, all right, so here's the thing. Bitcoin's intrinsic value is the inverse of how much you trust the leading governments in the world. So if you trust, say, the United States and their central bank and their economic system a lot, you don't value Bitcoin very much, and you keep your money out of it because why would you? The United States government, they're backing it all with their jolly word, and everyone thinks that's pretty great, except It's not. If you look at the long-term economic record of countries like the United States, and basically all of them, there are a few ones that are solid, like Canada, Australia, most of Europe, but generally, they haven't been doing a good job. If you were a serious economist and you sat down and you weren't being paid by some corporation to be bullish on the market, you'd probably think that the United States especially has been doing a job that you might describe as increasingly fucked up when it comes to managing the economy. Unemployment is not looking good. You know, the south of the America is basically, you know, a poverty state, but yet we're seeing additional corporate tax cuts and stuff, you know, that's just complete bullshit. Things are totally out of control. Most people realize this, though. A lot of people aren't actually going to go out and say it because, you know, sheep think mentality. People are afraid to say what other people haven't already said, but I'm not, because it's all so obvious to me. So I'm just browsing this list of bad things that happened in 2017, and in my opinion, they all contributed a bit to Bitcoin. Every time people's confidence gets shaken in the world, let's go to where we got here. Hurricane Irma. Okay, so this is a good one. So it's a natural disaster. No one caused it. It came in, but the response to it was generally unimpressive. As far as I understand, it's still a swamp over there. Rebuilding has not even happened. The United States government has its hands tied too much to even do anything. So as an international observer, you're looking at this and you're thinking, wow, the government of the United States is days away from total collapse. Now, when the United States, when government of the United States or any country collapses, the currency that they have goes basically to zero, and the market capitalization that people invested in that currency is gone. It's usually stolen by the government officials as they loot whatever remains on their way out. So as governments begin to crack, you want to take your money out of those governments and put them somewhere else. It used to be bars of gold, but now everyone is realizing that cryptocurrencies are just better. And Bitcoin is the most obvious one. It's underpinned by the rest of our internet infrastructure. Now, I'm just back at my Kraken here, and I want you to notice, if you'll notice my broad array of different currencies, I actually had a robot going for a while that was kind of mixing those up and trading the currencies for me, and it ended up with kind of this broad basket. And I want to point out that Bitcoin isn't the only thing that's gone up. A lot of the other currencies have gone up even more. I mean, by my accounts, just from Bitcoin realized gains, I should only have about 1,500. But other stuff like Ether, EOS, which I have 26 coins of, has decided to go. It was going literally down to zero. It was below 25 cents. And now it's up to $8 because of this huge bull market. So what I'm saying is true of all currencies. I just say Bitcoin because it's catchy. It's a zazzy sort of term. You know, there's a lot to get excited about. So let's conclude this video. Yes, I am investing my own money in Bitcoin. Yes, you can invest your money. There's a link on the screen now and at the bottom of the page that is, you know, my preferred choice for investing money in Bitcoin. Yes, I do make a little cut, but hey, I shared all this knowledge with you for free. So do a buddy a favor and let me get some of that Bitcoin commission. That's how I get Bitcoin. I don't buy as many as I'd like to because I don't have very much money, but my Bitcoin related sharings tell you about Bitcoin. So I'm bullish. You should be bullish too. You should wait till Bitcoin goes down a bit and buy one of these currencies that are a little more depressed, like maybe a little Ether Classic. That is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. If you lose the money, it is your own fault. So I'd like to just conclude by pointing out something very important. That, you know, I have this $2,500 balance here, but I actually haven't made any money. I'm still down the money I originally invested into the whole system. I only actually make the money after I take the money out and turn it back into cash in my pocket. And my timeline for holding Bitcoin is basically forever. So I never actually plan to sell this Bitcoin. You know, why would I do that? Why would I turn it back into Canadian dollars? So I can't really say I've made money. You might more accurately say that I have unrealized gains of thousands of dollars so far of my own money due to Bitcoin. So that was an important distinction. I wanted to say if someone tells you that they've made $10,000 in Bitcoin, you have to ask them, did you sell that Bitcoin and turn it back into cash, and is the cat in your pocket, and can I see it, and can you buy me a steak dinner with it? Then they haven't made any money. They've just had some unrealized gains that if they decided to sell the Bitcoin, just when it's gone back down to its lowest price, they could still lose money. But I'm prepared for Bitcoin to go down 50, 75%, and I'm just going to keep holding to it. In fact, if it goes down more than 25%, my plan is to buy more. I'm waiting for that $15,000 mark. I'm thinking it'll hit it in about a week, and then I'm going to pick up, maybe $1,000 more of Bitcoin. So I've been the Crypto Economist. Click the link on the bottom of the page. Look at these links that I'm going to magically put on the screen, subscribe, and all that stuff.